Well, I would just answer this briefly because I'm not in touch always. But from available evidences, and I think I mentioned it casually here, in terms of high moral conduct, I think a survey was conducted recently, and I stand to be corrected. The result of that survey has established clearly that the high moral conduct or the moral standard of our students is by far better, higher compared to any other university. But as I said, I may be wrong, I stand corrected. In terms of, although I'm not the registrar, not the vice chancellor, I don't think there should be a compromise in taking students without adequate requirements. These requirements seem to be universal. But I think in order to help those students who have not measured up in terms of getting the minimum entrance requirements, I think there is a sort of what we used to have in ABU, the premier university of all the universities in the country. Basic School of Basic and Media Studies. And I think, I'm not sure, but he will explain more. I think that is that provision here. Those who come without adequate or getting adequate minimum requirements for the entry, they will be given, I think, a sort of 1-year course in order to bridge it up, and then finally they will be examined. If they cross the line, fine. If they don't, too bad for them. So I think I will hand you over to the Vice Chancellor to give you more clarification on this. But I have my doubt. It's a mere speculation and mere spare campaign, because they know that our students are very, very well, very competitive, and wherever they are, they find themselves working. They are highly respected. They are not half cooked. They are well cooked.
Thank you, sir. You have said it all, but let me once more assure the Al-Mizan representative that Al-Qalam University does not admit students anyhow. You know, Al-Qalam University has its people who are opposed to it and who will never see anything good and who can concoct stories. The reality as far as admission is concerned, university admissions are regulated by JAMB. So JAMB has a minimum cut-off point, and no student will be recognized as a bona fide student to be allowed to partake in the National Youth Service Corps or to get a certificate of exemption if the JAMB minimum requirements are, if he or she did not meet the JAMB minimum requirements. Generally, non-governmental universities like our own do request for concession from JAMB. If the JAMB has put 180 as minimum cut-off point, there is opportunity for any university to now request JAMB should allow you to take 175 points. If the JAMB gives you an approval in writing, then you are not admitting a wrong candidate. But let me give you an example of when we were given the opportunity to start our 18 new programs, we requested for that permission from JAMB. We got it. But by the time we went to the Kano State government asking them to send us students, and we were telling them we can admit up to 175 students, the Honorable Commissioner for Higher Education at that time told us, no, we are going to sponsor only candidates with 180 and above. Many of those students were from Kano State and they were all above 180, above the cut-off points of JAM. Even though we had the concession at that time, we didn't even utilize most of the concessions given to us for that. Not only that, from this current admission we did for 2015-2016 session, we have introduced post-UTME examination to enable us sieve and select which ones are good and which are more qualified, just like any other university. You have mentioned the morality of Al-Qalam students is below standard. I think you have come to Al-Qalam University and you have been going to other universities. So you are the best judge to judge yourself and be sincere and honest. What have you seen? Did you actually see that? In any case, my answer to that is no. We are morally conscious and our morality is based on Islamic principles. Therefore, males and females should be dressed decently. Decency is a major outward measure of morality. Because you know it, if a lady wants to be immoral, she will go naked, she will expose her breasts, she will do this, she will do that. On this campus, you don't see that. Similarly, the males will go with saggy dress, they farm their hair anyhow, they go with any type of dress. We don't allow that. In fact, we have instructed our security guard at the gate not to allow students who are immorally dressed. And this is being practiced. In short, the university will not relent on any student who would want to bring the issue of immorality onto the campus. We have a report that some female students have acquired rented houses just across in the Sardauna estate. We have directed them to come back to campus. The few of them who refused have been sacked away, have been sacked from the university. And we are assuring the public immorality on Al-Qalam University will not be tolerated anytime, anyhow, by anybody and from any quarter. So please quote us that way.
Are you okay now?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Zachary O'Malley, and I'm a reporter with AIT Reaper Katsina. Your last answer gets me to this question I want to ask you, and it's going to be two questions in one. The number one question out of the two is this. You just spoke about your students who are off campus, that you decided that they should come back to the campus. Are you now saying that none of the students are living off campus? And if any, what is going to be, or what is the university doing in terms of transportation welfare for these students? Because motivation is not all about money, but transportation fare to convey them down to the school is a morale booster to make them do well in school. Now that is one. What is the university doing about that? Then secondly, what is your vision for the students of this university? Where do you want them to be in the nearest future? Thank you very much.
Now, in respect of, I think Vice Chancellor will be a better person to answer this, but I will just do it vaguely. You know, we are just starting, and we told you that one of our main or major challenges is funds. Because if you wanted to do a good thing or a bad thing, you wanted to be a thief, you have to be a thief, you have to be well equipped to break a house. If you lack money, you can't break it. So I'm sure, even if we have not been able to provide enough transportation network to enable the university to convey students to and fro, I think that is one of our priorities. Because, to be frank with you, even this morning when I was coming in, I have been thinking very seriously, but within myself, how can we get our well-to-do public spirited persons support this university even by giving buses, donated buses, because 1 or 2 or 3 buses would not really do. And I think there I can, from what I can see, we have not been able to meet up with that demand. But I think gradually we get over it. Now, regarding the off-campus students, you know, even the premier university, that is ABU, they have not been able to provide enough accommodation for their teeming, ever-increasing student population. Hence, some private persons have to be building hostels to hire them to the university students. We have enough land, and I think in terms of accommodation, hostels we have been discussing with quite a number of organizations on the basis of BOT-based offering and transfer. And I think recently, as I said, I will hand him over because he is a better person to answer that question adequately. So I think without wasting your time, I think it is better for me to hand it over to him.
Thank you, sir. Now, off-campus students, with regard to the female students, we do not expect to have female off-campus students unless, number one, the lady is married, and she is married within Katsina, or her parents have testified in writing to us that their daughter should be allowed to be off campus. So most of the female students we have are living on campus. And the last report I got from the Dean of Student Affairs was that we still have about 50 bed spaces in the female hostel unoccupied. So, and the major concern with regard to transportation of the female students on the campus, we have identified a hostel which is sharing border with the university. In fact, the university land is bordering the female hostel to show how close the proximity is. However, the route to reach the glass, since it has to be outside, it is within walking distance. And in fact, it is going to be good for the students even to exercise themselves to go to the hostel and come back, to go to the school and then go back on foot, since it is within walking distance. But that notwithstanding, still the management has registered a number of operators of Keke Napep, the in this place. So a number of them have been registered. We registered them in order to monitor them. So they have been registered to go to the gate of the female hostels and to bring the students on campus. And they have been shown the designated areas where they can go to unload and offload their passengers. The major problem for the transportation will be that of the male hostels, which is a little bit further away than the female hostels. But even for them, like the Professor has said, we are trying to acquire vehicles to ease their transportation problems. We have it in mind, and very soon we are likely to get a solution to that. The vision for our students, of course, the general vision for students who graduate is for them to be able to get employment either by government or by private sector, or they create entrepreneurs in which they will not only be self-employed but also labor employers. So briefly, this is our vision. And the other basic issue of our vision is that those students who graduate from here will be a model of Islam. Whatever they are going to do, it is expected that they remember Allah and they do it in accordance with what Allah says, irrespective of what the public will think or say. So these are briefly what I can say concerning the vision of our students after graduation. But I assure you, among the students we have trained, there are so many, even right now, who have succeeded in getting employment in different parts of the Nigeria and in different areas, contributing their quota to the development of the university. And those of them who excel have gone for further training. For example, one of the computer gurus we trained, maybe some of you have known him, Armaya Uzango. He has a first class in computer science from this university. He went to Lancaster University in the UK. He came up with a master's with distinction, and he has now gone for his PhD work. So the training we are offering, like my professor has said, are really competitive. And it is because even visiting lecturers, we don't employ people without PhD. And even those with PhD, most of them are professors or associate professors. This you can see. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
You are not yet tired.
Inshallah. With due respect, I'm Abdul Hamid Samu. I write for Blueprint newspaper. History has indicated that this institution started through begging and appeals to spy. Now, we want to know where you are, where you want to be, and how to get there in terms of financial standards. Thank you.
That is a very moving question. But then I think in the course of my vision here, from here, you must have read in between the lines what we have been able to achieve so far. And with the expansion of the program from 4 to 22, that goes to suggest that the level of our ambition for this university as well as for the students is a very high one, and quality one for that matter. It's always simple or normal to charge a way forward. But whether I get there or you will be stranded in between is a matter of conjecture. But we are hoping, inshallah, as we said, we must be competitive, and we are recruiting first-class brains to come and impart that knowledge to their children. I'm sure, as far as we are concerned, the sky is the limit. But in terms of, in respect of what we are doing in respect of mobilizing funds, you are quite right. Yes, we started as better, and if the Muslim communities will be much more forward-looking and much more generous in thinking that whatever they have in their position in terms of material assets and what have you, they are just keepers of that asset. It's not their own, because they are, soon they will go. So if they would think along that line, and as Allah has also enjoined every Muslim to try to help the other less privileged people. If they will come, if they will grasp, they will answer that and they will use it. As somebody was saying at one of our sheikhs at one time, he said, if Muslim communities will just donate 10 naira, now our naira is going down, now make it 100 naira. Because even Encyclopedia Britannica, in the editions, and they know they are all Christians. Now, with respect of the Muslim population in Nigeria, vis-a-vis Muslim Christian population and pagan population in Nigeria, they are Christians. Remember, with all their vices, they recorded 55% of Nigerian people population are Muslims. 35 are Christians. 10 are pagans. In between. So even if you combine the 10 and plus 30, make it 45. The still Muslims are 55. So if each, even half, will give 10 100 naira. Count it yourself. This is your duty to count and feed and find how much will be realized. So in terms of budgeting, this, yes, is a marginal, but if we know our responsibility, it can stand and become even much more resourceful than the conventional university set up by the government, because the government has their own. So I think they will possibly give you a light. All that you need to do as a leader man is to try to educate, enlighten, and mobilize, propagate, and make the Muslims embrace, see the truth, catch it, use it, let them donate. Because if they don't, it will be too late. If they will leave the whole thing here, and there they will go where no ancestry will count, no money will count, nothing will count except what we have done, good or bad. Thank you.
Well, sir, there is not much I can add from what you've already said, but maybe in a different way. You mentioned the university started with begging, and where are we? My first answer to that is that Al-Qalam University belongs to the categories of universities which are called faith-based universities. In all of these faith-based universities, they are developed from the contributions and the donations of the members who believe in that faith. We are different from the others because even though we collected the donation from the public, our school fees had been very, very low compared to what our other sisters faith-based universities are. That you can confirm and you can see. It's not something which is unknown. So, like the Professor has said, we are still depending on philanthropists to contribute. And these contributions, Muslims should know, is in their own interest, in their own, for their own good. Because expenditure on earth, on education, is part of what we believe is sadaqatul jariyah, which is something which even after you are dead, you will be getting reward. So if only people will understand this,